Seattle Latino Chamber of Commerce, King County Debate 2025. Hola, hello a todos los que nos ven. My name is Marcos Wanles. I am the president and founder of the Seattle Latino Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, serving King County. Welcome to the Chamber 2025 King County Latino Election Debate, which today will have the exclusive participation of running candidate for King County's executive position, Councilwoman Claudia Balducci. The reason for this eventuality is that opposing candidate Councilman Grimay Sahali was not available in any date to participate with us, as we were informed by his office. For this matter, we reached out the office of Councilman Sahali to make sure they knew that our chamber is a trusted messenger of the Latino business community and Hispanics in King County. We are the only Latino chamber operating in the county, and we have a collective of more than 2,000 professionals and business owners on our network. Councilman Sahali opting to refuse to be here today citing a busy schedule is a clear message to all of us that he has no interest in communicating with the largest Latino audience in King County. As it is, this policy of disengagement with us should not be ignored. It should be noticed publicly and demanded to be rectified from any elected official acting in this manner. Latinos are not to be ignored in King County or anywhere. We are the largest minority in the county and in the state, hence the importance of our work, security, and transcendence in all aspects of culture, life, and economy. Today, Latinos contribute over $5 trillion to the U.S. economy. We are the fastest growing workforce in the nation, and Latina women are the number one group of new business owners in the country. Latinos and immigrants working on their ITIN registrations contributed more than $4.5 billion in taxes each year, funding our social security system, even though they may never receive those benefits unless current circumstances change. And that's just a glimpse of what Latinos bring to King County and the United States. So we don't take it well anymore to be ignored. We are absolutely present and here to stay, creating wealth as we have for all. Providing information and opening opportunities is a core part of our mission at the Latino Chamber of Commerce. We host this electoral debate so Latinos in King County learn more about the candidates' specific plans to support Latino businesses, which is necessary if we all want to have a prosperous King County. So please accompany me virtually to welcome the candidate for the position of King County Executive Councilwoman Claudia Balducci.
Thank you so
Bienvenida,
much.
Claudia, Councilwoman. We hope to learn about the position of a candidate in all the different areas of government with focus on business and Latinos. Today's one-person debate. And I say this with lightness, following an old Latino word of wisdom that my grandmother used to tell me, mijo, don't take yourself too seriously. So with that, I would like to continue the debate now, turning to interview and ask candidate Balducci to introduce herself and give us a glimpse of her vision. There will be 4 minutes to do this. We will let you know as your last minute is coming up on the clock, so you can start wrapping up and we can finish it promptly. So with this, I welcome again candidate Councilwoman Claudia Balducci. And the first question is not a question, it's a self-introduction. Please, Claudia, let us know about your position, your vision, and about you.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to the Seattle Latino Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce and to get to know you. And I hope that this is an opening conversation and that we will meet again in my future position, which will be somewhere, either on the county council or as the county executive. So again, thank you. It is a real opportunity and privilege to be here with you today. My name is Claudia Balducci, and I currently serve on the King County Council. I represent parts of East King County, so most of the cities of Bellevue, Kirkland, Redmond, Mercer Island, and the Points communities. I'm a former representative on the Bellevue City Council and a former mayor of the city of Bellevue. And I have worked for King County for over 25 years. I started as a at the ground floor, working as a support staff in the Labor Relations Division, worked my way up over the years to eventually run a department. I ran one of the county's large departments, the Department of Adult and Juvenile Detention, which is responsible for our county's jail system. And then as an elected official, I now, of course, serve on the King County Council. I was proud to be selected by my peers on the council to serve as the chair of the council in early 2020, which meant I was the chair of the council for the year that COVID came to us, and also for 2 years after that. So I will say one of the visions that I bring to this race is during COVID, we learned how much we really truly depend on one another. We learned that government alone cannot support the community. Uh, we need trusted community partners. We need our local businesses. And I was very proud to help coordinate with a number of small businesses in my district, including businesses that were run by immigrants and people of color. And that was a small effort, but it was very successful for those who participated. So I will say the first thing that brings to my mind is, as county executive, representing the entire county, including the east side, but also all of Seattle, all of South King County, all of North King County. Um, I am committed to creating and developing better support services from the county for economic development and small businesses. We have not done a lot in this regard as a county. I believe it is time for us to lean in and do more. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in New York City, uh, spent my early years there, moved here when I was in law school, and have been here for my entire adult career. Have raised my family here. I'm married to my husband, Jim. We have one child who just started at college. And although we adopted our son from Central Asia, we intentionally enrolled our child in Spanish immersion, at we did throughout elementary school, middle school, and into high school. So through that experience, we now have a family member who is fluent in Spanish, but also we got to learn about the cultures of Spanish-speaking countries, Hispanic countries, and we went on a learning journey as well. So I am very much looking forward to this discussion today. Very much hoping to ask for your vote and your partnership, regardless of the election. I look forward to partnering with the Chamber of Commerce and your members. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Balducci. Now we're going to do a set of ice-breaking questions. It's going to be yes or no response.
All right.
For the first
The
one,
hardest.
the hardest. Regarding the King County efforts to support minority-owned businesses, even if the federal government believes it is race-based, would you compromise in making sure the city equally supporting Latinos and other minority-owned businesses?
I believe the question is, would I compromise that, or
Would
would
you
I commit to
compromise,
it?
even if the federal government is opposing any special aids to minority groups, to
Yeah.
minorities? Would you compromise in standing and helping that not affect the small businesses and help all minorities, Latinos, and every other minority?
I know you said yes or no. I want to be sure my answer was clear. I would absolutely commit, yes, commit to working with and supporting Latino and minority businesses.
Wonderful, thank you. Do you believe that our system of generational wealth is fair?
No,
Thank you. Should homeless people be allowed to stay in tents in parks?
no,
Thank you. Should people be allowed to smoke or use drugs like fentanyl in public places?
no,
Thank you. Thank you for your questions. We will now have 2 minutes for the next section. We will have the timer telling you when the 2 minutes are up, and we will start with the first question for this round. And it says, what specific actions will you take to help small and minority-owned businesses succeed in King County?
Thank you so much for that question. I first and foremost would want to have a person in the executive's office working closely with me who is who is charged with um, supporting small businesses and being the economic development driver for small businesses, including, of course, Latino businesses. It is a function we haven't really had before. And although so much of King County affects small businesses and Latino small businesses, there's not a coordinating person who is the advocate, who is the person pushing the county to make sure we're being supportive, that we are removing barriers. I understand from businesses that I talk to, we can be very difficult. If you have a business in unincorporated King County, our permitting process can be very difficult. I have had one particular Latino-owned business run by somebody I've known for a long time call me up and talk about all of the challenges with public health and food service permitting. We need somebody who's going to help with education and support for the businesses, help them to navigate our systems and be successful. I would also want us to think about when we have discussions about regulations or new requirements, that we talk to the businesses first, that we understand the impact of those things. Will it help? Will it hurt? And try to be more helpful. And then finally, I would absolutely ask that through your leadership and your membership of your organization, that we join in a regular series of discussions so that we maintain constantly open lines of communication, so that I personally can hear from the business community and especially the Latino business community, what's happening, what do you need, what's working, what's not.
Thank you. What proven expertise or experience do you have that qualifies you to make King County a greater place for businesses to thrive?
Yeah, thank you for that question as well. Um, I'm very proud of the work that I helped to lead with others here in Bellevue to make Bellevue a place where people want to do business, to provide opportunities. We had a great partnership, it doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately, with our local Chamber of Commerce that was a business incubator that helped to train people who wanted to start a business, had a passion. Maybe they were wonderful at creating a certain kind of product or making a certain kind of food or whatever business they wanted to open. They had a passion for the work, but they don't know the governmental regulatory side, or maybe have a lot of business experience. So this partnership with between the city and the Chamber of Commerce here helped to get people ready to succeed in small business, and then could provide small grants to help them get off the ground. That was a great experience that I got to be part of, that I would love to replicate at King County and, make broader and make sure that we are being very inclusive. I've also just been a person who understands how to run county government. As I said, I ran a large county department and have worked for the county for over 25 years in multiple places in many different roles. If you have a challenge as a small business owner with King County and you want an executive who understands how we can move the county bureaucracy to make it work better, that's me. I am the candidate in this race who has experience pushing the government to change, to improve, to be more responsive and more effective. So I believe that my experience sets me apart from in this race as somebody who could be very, very helpful to this community.
Thank you. Can you share examples of small or minority owned businesses you've worked with and what you learned from those experiences?
Yes. So the example I gave before is absolutely one of my favorite small businesses. It's called Freelard Tacos, and They're a small business that serves food, obviously, with a storefront and a truck, or trucks possibly by now. And I heard from one of the owners about the challenges that they were having getting their permit to open their storefront, and the ways that the requirements kept changing. They were told they had met all the requirements, and then the next inspection comes along, and they were told, no, no, you need a sink in a different place, which is a big investment for a new and very small business to make in more infrastructure before you can even open your doors. So I've been, I was very proud to work with that situation and help to intervene so that it could be resolved for that business. As I said, during COVID, I hosted a series of roundtables with a number of small businesses. In my community, these particular businesses that came to me asking for help were mainly in the Indian community, a lot of women. Many, as you said at the top, many women opening small businesses and really driving the economy. And they weren't all from the Indian community, they were from a variety of communities. And there was one organization that was a nonprofit called Centro Cultural Mexicano that I also worked with closely during the COVID. And we were just identifying problems and trying to solve them because it was such a dynamic, difficult time for all organizations. And interestingly, many of the businesses and the nonprofit that I talked about had to shift from doing what they did to doing like COVID work, handing out masks, helping with rental assistance, being a support to their customers. Um, so I was very proud to be part of helping the businesses help the community in that time.
Thank you. What is most important? What is the most important step that the county can take to promote economic growth and improve cooperation and avoid actions that polarize businesses and residents?
I think there's many things we can do. The first thing, and possibly one of the most important things, is to do no harm. First, stop being a barrier to what our small local businesses need to do. We can be very difficult to do business with as a government, I've found. Complex rules, slow timelines, changing directions. So the very first thing as executive that I would seek to do would be to do no harm. We want to be a helper, not somebody who makes it more difficult for our business owners to be able to do their work. I think in addition to that, uh, we absolute we absolutely could help with things like workforce development. This is a place where the county has had some engagement. We have been active in developing workforce around construction, capital projects, green jobs, certain specific types of areas where we can help by partnering to create training programs. So if you need skilled labor, we can partner on training programs to help build the workforce needed. And I do think that that is something we could do more of and be engaged with understanding what the needs are for workforce development. And then finally, I guess I would say it can be very, very difficult for small businesses with low profit margins to find space. I've heard from a number of community types of businesses, both ethnic businesses, small businesses, immigrant-owned businesses, that they it's hard to find a space that you can afford. And if you find one, there's always a risk of being displaced because the owner sells the building, because sometimes we come along and do something that makes it impossible to continue doing business. And so I think that is a function for government in helping to identify and protect affordable spaces for small business to work out of so that they can be stable and focus on doing their business as opposed to chasing leases all the time.
Thank you. Now we go to this question, to the the third one, part of the questionnaires, and this is very focused on Latinos and culture and community. Supporting minority-owned business across Washington State. Only about 6% of minority-owned businesses participate in government contracts. One contributing factor is the difficulty in accessing and navigating the existing procurement portals.
Mhm.
However, the large barrier is often a lack of business capacity. Until this issue is addressed, participation among small minority owned businesses will remain low, limiting opportunities to work with city, county, and state agencies. Question: have you considered this challenge in your economic development plans? What specific proposals will you introduce to help minority owned small businesses build capacity and compete for county contracts?
Yes, absolutely. It's something we have faced in a number of ways and needs more attention. I spend a lot of my time as an elected official working on government um, infrastructure projects. And so there's a lot of contracts that are associated with that for small contractors and large contractors who who bid for these jobs, building roads, building pipes, building the light rail system. And it's not just construction contracts. There are landscaping contracts and design contracts. I mean, a whole bevy of opportunities that are really win-win opportunities. We need the infrastructure for all the people, and we are also putting a lot of government money into these contracts, and that wealth, that opportunity should be fairly available to all contractors. So I have put thought into this. We've we were trying something a little new, two new things, and this is at Sound Transit, so specifically around these kinds of infrastructure and management type contracts. We tried putting out an opportunity list to so people can with technical support and a lot of effort, we tried to get people to be on a list of contractors that then you can get called to do jobs, fairly big jobs actually, for Sound Transit, and you don't have to apply all the time. Now there's pros and cons to this approach. The pro is if we lift up the community-based businesses, the Latino businesses that you're talking about, so that you can get on the list, then you are free to go about your business and know that you will get contracts from time to time without having to apply and apply and apply and put all that effort in. The downside is if you close the door and don't make sure that people have access to the list, you can be shut out. So my commitment as county executive is in this area and all county contracting areas to make sure we have close communication, understand the barriers, and are providing the technical and other support needed so that your members can have access to county. We want to do business with you. We should make sure that that can happen.
Thank you. Real Latino representation. Latino owned businesses are one of Seattle's fastest growing economic forces, yet, Latino entrepreneurs and leadership remains largely excluded from key county decisions, and often face barriers accessing city contracts and city support. For decades, executives have promised inclusion, but deliver little real power. As
Mm.
county executive, how will you change that? Will you commit to giving Latino business owners and leaders a permanent seat at the table where economic priorities are set, or will their voices continue to be tokenized and ignored?
The answer is, of course, yes, I will commit to do that. I will commit to a permanent seat at the table. And I need to have that seat at the table if I'm county executive, because one person cannot know everything that's happening in this big county. So that two-way communication is critical so that we as a county and I as a leader can communicate to you all what we need, what we're doing, what the opportunities are. And you can just the same communicate back where things are working, where you've been shut out or surprised or missed an opportunity because you didn't hear about it. And we can identify problems and solve them. But that has to be a continuous discussion, not just once in a while. So if elected, I will absolutely ask that through your leadership here at the Metropolitan Seattle Latino Chamber of Commerce, I would like to have a conversation as we are setting up the government. One thing that's going to happen in this election is because Dow Constantine left his position before the end of his term, the next executive will be sworn in the day after the election is certified. So right away, next month. And then we're going to have to work very quickly to set up the new government and bring people in. I would like to invite uh, a voice of this community to be, or more, not just one person. I'm not trying to limit it, but to be part of that transition discussion. So from the very beginning, as we are setting up the government, making decisions about who goes where, who advises the executive personally, what things we focus on in the first 100 days, all of that. I would love to have representation at that early discussion so that we set things up for success from the very beginning.
Thank you. Our last question. What makes you different from your running opponent, and why would you be a better executive in King County?
Uh, the main thing that I would say distinguishes the two of us is experience. I have worked, as I said, in government for over 25 years and not just sat in a chair accruing seniority. Everywhere I've gone, as mayor of Bellevue, as a King County council member, as a leader at Sound Transit, as a leader at the Puget Sound Regional Council, I have pushed change and implemented hard, big things everywhere I've gone. I have implemented a series of jail reforms in my time at the county jails. I have been almost personally responsible for opening light rail in East King County. I have been pushing for housing affordability and more housing through working with our cities over the last several years. We have been really starting to see some change in there being more of housing affordability in more places in King County because of that work we're doing. And and I am very proud in my district where I have served now for in my third term of developing strong relationships with the ethnic and minority communities to support their efforts, to support their businesses, their nonprofits, their community events, and and we have been seeing the fruits of that. And I've been doing it for many, many years. So I have a long track record, and I would love as county executive to expand that role to serve the whole county, to serve your members. Um, I think if there's one other thing I would say, I believe my opponent and I also have a different track record, particularly on the topic of public safety. As I've said a few times now, I'm a former public safety official myself. My opponent ran on a platform of shutting down the juvenile detention facility and defunding the police when he first ran for office. He has since changed his mind about that, but he only did it as he was running for higher office. So I would say I'm the consistent voice on public safety that you can rely on, and my endorsements also support that. So those are two real ways in which I think we're different.
Thank you. Now we come to the closing remarks. Councilwoman Balducci, please give us your closing remarks. We will have 4 minutes for this.
Thank you again so much for the opportunity to speak to you today, to get to know you, to have this opening conversation. I want to reiterate what I said at the beginning, and that is I do hope it is an opening conversation. No matter what happens on November 4th, I will either be the incoming county executive or I will be the continuing regional leader on the county council that I am. So I want to leave this conversation with an open door and an open phone line to have further conversations, to have meetings where we talk about specific issues and problems and try to build solutions together. I I would feel that I had succeeded in my long tenure as an elected official if by the time I am done, some years from now, and I retire, if I could have this conversation with you all and you could say, things have gotten better. We have more opportunities. We feel that we have a voice. We feel that our government is listening to us and really trying to respond. That would be success to me. And so that's why I do believe that having these forums and this conversation is so important. Uh, I want to share one very important point. This is an election. Please remember to vote. You should have received your ballots by now. If you have not, please contact King County Elections. They can issue a new ballot. And because of the challenges with the federal government shutdown, although you can put your ballot in the mail, I would recommend from here on out, please find a King County drop box and put your ballot in that drop box. That way it will absolutely get counted. The deadline to vote is next Tuesday, Election Day, and I really do hope to earn your vote. The last thing I will say is you can reach me at my campaign website. That is info at claudiabalducci.com. If you have any questions, any concerns, want to hear more from me, we will respond if you write to us at that email address. So thank you again so very much for what you're doing to organize this community, to give it a voice. It's so important to our economic success and the success of our county that we support you. Thank you for organizing to help us know how to better do that. And again, I appreciate the opportunity today.
Councilwoman Balducci, thank you very much for your insights and participation. We hope our audience has learned from your perspectives and feels more informed about the issues that matter most to our community. And yes, we invite everyone here to stay engaged, to support Latino businesses as we continue building a stronger, more inclusive economy for Latinos and for all. I would also like to extend our acknowledgement to the members of the Washington State Minority Business Coalition, which was recently formed, which we are a very proud part of, and also to my team, especially to our political advisors, Tom Moore and Andres Mantillo. Without them, these efforts would not be possible today. And finally, please remember to vote. Very important. Let's make it a task of great importance, civic duty that shapes our shared future. And thank you all. Muchas gracias and be well.
All right.